The whole idea of the book is to invite us to a different way of being that we are fully capable of. Giving us the tools, taking us on an energetic journey. You notice when you read the book, you're just different afterwards. Well, that's how consciousness works. You're just different. You have more gratitude for your body after. Anywhere and in any way in which we're willing to have gratitude for our bodies, that flows over into the rest of our life. And gratitude is one of the greatest expressions of being alive that there is. So the biggest thing is to change our perspective and play and play with changing our perspective and play, period. Because what if you created your body to play? What if you created it because it was way more awesome to have one than not to have one? And if you've ever done any spiritual work, they're like, you will be all of you when you leave your body. My response to that is, fuck you very much. You're an idiot. You don't understand how it really works. Everything that brought up, all of you who've done all this wonderful spiritual stuff that just put you in more judgment of your body while simultaneously making you believe you were superior to other people who didn't get the spiritual point of view, which is one of the greatest limitations we have of our bodies. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all 100, podpoc, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. And so these sweet bodies, it's not complicated for us to communicate with them. And they're highly aware. And my point of view is, what if you created your body in a nanosecond of consciousness? Which means, what if it currently is actually more conscious than you have been willing to be? But if you're the one who created it that way, you'll read in the book, you slammed your parents together to create the body you wanted and the life you wanted. And if that's remotely true, and you're the one who created it in a nanosecond of consciousness, then you're the one who has the power to actually choose consciousness, which is where everything starts to work. And it's that space beyond judgment where there are infinite possibilities. And my sense is our bodies are inviting us to recognize that that can be something that we can live, but we've got to start listening, which is what the book is all about. The whole idea of the book is to invite us to a different way of being that we are fully capable of, giving us the tools, taking us on an energetic journey. You notice when you read the book, you're just different afterwards. Well, that's how consciousness works. You read it, you're not even, yeah, you'll pick up some things, you'll think about some things, you might use some of the tools or not, but you're just different. You have more gratitude for your body after. And it's interesting because gratitude for our bodies is a recipe for gratitude in our lives. And anywhere and in any way in which we're willing to have gratitude for our bodies, that flows over into the rest of our life. And gratitude is one of the greatest expressions of being alive that there is. We have more miraculous capacity to live in communion with them, but also to create change with them than we've ever had before. And I also see that there's a lot more of change your body by taking this drug. You don't have to exercise. You don't have to listen to your body. Just take Ozempic. Yay. You know, and I'm a big believer of using every tool available. I love better living through modern science and chemistry. I'm fine with using anything that will create more ease with us and our bodies. But what I've noticed is as consciousness grows and the possibilities that grow with it, which are truly our ability to be miraculous with our bodies, with the creation of every area of life, simultaneously, the push for people to find a solution that doesn't involve you being more present and you getting out of judgment and you being more miraculous is going on simultaneously. And so our point of view creates our reality, a recurring theme in the book. And so you can either choose to go what looks like the easy route that will make you dependent on someone or something. Or you can go what looks like the harder route, which is actually the long-term, far easier route that will have far greater impact, not just in the areas with your body, but in the rest of your life, and actually choose to get more connected to your body, more aware. And it's easier than you ever thought it could be because it's what's true, and expand your whole reality by doing so. So take Ozempic or expand your whole reality, your choice. And there's no wrongness in either one of those. At a certain point, you might be like, oh, I need to take this. And it might give you the awareness things can change. And from that, you start getting more aware. There truly is no judgment of what somebody chooses, but the recognition that both the possibilities and the contraction into relying on this reality's chemistry set and set of judgments and rightness as the source are available to us far more dynamically than they have. And then it becomes our choice. What would you like to choose? What will your life be like? What will your body be like? What will your future be like in 5 years if you choose this or if you choose this? And then it's just choice. Truly, none of those choices is wrong. It's just choice. It's so interesting because people in the world we live in don't tend to value having a rich, beautiful life and living.
Mm-hmm.
They value being seen by others as valuable more often, which, okay, fine. We're here to have a different conversation. But as part of that conversation, it's really helpful to acknowledge everything that's around us because that creates part of the field that we live in. And we have a choice to be different than that, but we just need to acknowledge how present it is for a lot of people, and therefore it initially might seem present to us, but we can change our bodies so much quicker than we imagine by listening to them, because it's like, if somebody is going to build a new house for you and they decide what it's going to be, and they, go do their redecoration, and you're like, this isn't what I want at all. This doesn't help me at all. This is worse than what I had before. Well, that's what we're doing with our bodies. We're like, I'm in charge of the redecoration committee. I will do everything I want. What do you want? Who cares? This is all about me. Like, no, dum dum. Your body is your body. It has a consciousness of its own. Your being is the infinite being that can contribute infinitely, which, don't even get me started on that because nobody can even begin to go there or fathom it. And so, if we're in connection with it and just, hey, body, like, what movement would you like to do? What would you like to eat? And here's the part I don't know if I've ever been able to fully communicate it, but I'm hoping it's available now, which is, initially we start this usually with ADHD. Initially, we start this as sort of a mental thing. Body, what would you like to eat? Body, who would you like to eat? Body, what would you like to wear? And we're trying to figure it out. And then, if we're willing, there's a moment where we've been asking this, we forget to ask, like, let's say, for example, body, what would you like to wear? And we almost forget to ask, but we've been asking, but we're not trying to mentally control it. There's no, oh, let me figure out the right answer. There's just a thing where your energy is present with the energy of your closet, let's say, and you just kind of almost seemingly randomly choose something and you put it on, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's beautiful. That's amazing. Is that new? And you're like, no, it's 28 years old and it's my mom's, like, and it's just happened to be the thing that matches the energy of your body in that moment. And it adds to that. And now they're together broadcasting to the world this ease, basically, and also this sense of, like, we match energetically, where it's just, and that's the whole thing of what's true for you. But that's also the whole thing about asking your body it's not to ask your body so you can understand, so you can figure out, so you can do more judgment of whether you're doing the right thing. No, it's to ask your body so you can take the crud off of your pathways of communication, so you can knock off the concrete off of your body's broadcasting tower so you can actually hear it, and now you just be with it. Like this shirt, for example. I have a very extensive closet that I blame my body for, okay? Like 3 levels as big as some people's bedrooms, okay? I have a closet, okay? And that's what my body wanted. I'm like, oh, body, I'm so glad I got you. Oh my goodness. I'm not one of these people that has like 2 black outfits and I wear them all the time, right? Obviously. But I walked in today and I'm like, body, what would you like to wear? And I was like, hello. Hello, you. You're gonna climb on. Let's go for a ride. We got to talk to people today. Let's do it. And it's we're using all the tools so that we don't have to use the tools, so that we become the tools. And so but we've got to, it starts with our choice to have something different, which you all have. Obviously, you've been part of this book club. And I want to thank you again for starting this book club, and also for all of you being part of this. Like, could you imagine what it was like? I wrote the book because I wanted people to have these tools and to get together with a group of other people. Yes, even with your judgment when you didn't read the chapter and you pretend to, and everybody's talking about it, and you feel left behind, like in school. That's all part of it. That's all part of the book club. That's good. It's awesome. It's not about, oh, I read every chapter, I'm a good book club student. It's like there's no test. This is something you do for you and your body. But it's all about increasing the quality of your life. And that's what our body shows us. So and so what happens is, here's the other thing, is one of the great challenges, but also one of the great things, if we can acknowledge it, is the thing that we do most naturally is usually the thing that is being asked for. Okay, so for example, there's 2 elements to this. One is the thing that oh, goodness, trying to explain energy in words is so much fun. So there's one thing where you do what your body wants. Because if you watch little kids, they graze, right? Let's talk about food, for example. And they tend to graze. Well, as you grow up, you learn all kinds of fixed points of view, and then you try to go against what is natural for you to try to create a different result, because you assume, if I'm not getting the result, it's because of the food I'm eating, or the whatever, or the whatever, or the whatever. So if it's uncomfortable and if it makes me unhappy, then it must be good. Yay. I can't wait to do another fast. By the way, who named those fucking things? I don't know what it is in Portuguese or Italian or Spanish or any other language, or Arabic, but it's the one thing that's not fast. It's like Russian people. Why do we call them Russian? They're so slow. No, they're not. I'm just kidding. But you get the idea. Yeah, let me add more structure. That'll help. That's exactly our point of view. And let me add more structure against what I'm being naturally. And that's the way this whole reality works. If there's something coming easy for you, make sure to fuck it up and go do something that's not easy. And then you're getting somewhere. All of life comes to you with pain, suffering, and glory, and lots of struggle, and lots of work, and lots of effort, so I can be just like my mommy and my daddy. Yay, who are the happiest people. And look at how happy their bodies are. Okay, so everything that brought up, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So to a dynamic extent, so the end result of that is that we're living our lives now thinking, if it's too easy, it must be wrong. If it just comes to me, if I just choose my clothing and it works, okay, I need to work harder. And so it's like this cognitive dissonance that we have, where we're not willing to know it can be easy, but if it is easy, we try to make it harder. And this is part of all the tools in the book, and the conversations are about changing that perspective, so it's not about harder work creates more result. It's about easier in connection with what is actually true for us in our bodies creates the result. Like before Access, I used to work out. I went to college. I joined a gym, and it's a hardcore workout gym. And boy, did I work out. And I gained about 15 kilos in 2 months, and I lost 4% body fat. So I was like, hello, I am here. Ah, yes, I will dominate everything. I am large. And I was working out for basically 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes seven. And I loved it because I'm a bit of an intensity freak, that works for me. But after I stopped working out all that time, it's just like my body, it felt like it was tired all the time and hurting all the time. And then I met Gary and he's like, why don't you ask your body what it wants to do? And I was like, what? And at this point, I work out for 20 minutes a day, usually, maybe 30, maybe 40 if I'm having a good day, 6 days a week, but I do it because it's fun. And if it's not fun that day, I do something else like ice cream, but it's this natural flow and the ease of it. I mean, I'm 55 as of a few days ago, okay? If you look at the pictures from 20 years ago, I'm like, daddy ages really well, okay? Now, saying that about myself is not something I would normally do, but I realize, fuck, I'm gonna own it. Like, if you can look this good at 55, you should tell people I'm 55 and you can do this too. You don't have to become a pudgy puss ball. Shit. But it's also not because I work out all the time or whatever. I listen to my body. And there are times where I feel like I'm not listening to it. I know there's something else going on when I feel like I need food for energy. And what I do is I ask my body, I'm like, body, okay, what is going on? And what's it going to take to change this? Hey, by the way, so everything you have in your world that you've decided, that you bought, that you're still struggling with your body, that you've decided is not changeable, that actually is changeable. Will you just, and that if you allowed it to change, would show you how phenomenal and miraculous you and your body truly are in a way you would no longer be able to avoid. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Here's a thing we don't recognize is we will not allow change with ease a lot of times. We will hold in place problems, difficulties, dis-ease, because it proves to us that we are still normal. It proves to us we're like other people. It proves to us we're not miraculous. And yet, somewhere in our world, we know we are, and we know we should be able to change it, but we haven't been able to change it. So now we're really stuck in cognitive dissonance from knowing we should be able to, not being able to, not recognizing we have a point of view that makes that occur. So, all of your points of view that make that occur, and everywhere you've been trying to work harder, struggle more to change your body, will you destroy and create it all, please? Times a gazillion, right? Wrong about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. I love this. Do it for the fun of it, not for the right of it. Exactly. And if you did that, here's the other weird part. Sorry, I could talk all day. I apologize. I apologize, but I don't ever change it. So maybe I'm not apologizing. I'm apologizing, but I'm not stopping. Um, One of the other elements is that this idea of letting it be easy and letting us, we don't want to know that we have that much power, that it can be that easy. And so we go down a road of struggling like everybody else. But what if you're different than people? What if you're less of a people and more like a tree meets a dolphin, meets a horse, meets a lion, meets a unicorn? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. What if your body is something that can show you that you're a magical creature that you have been using to prove to you and others that you're not a magical creature? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So, what magical creature are you, and what magical creature is your body that if you allowed them together would create unstoppable magic and miracles that you may not yet have been willing to have, but what if now is the space? Everything that doesn't allow that and doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Here's another interesting thing. I'm able to have that conversation with you because you've read the book. See, this in my, with what I desire people in the world and their bodies to have is pure miraculousness. See, because we think it's about the book and the tools and the journey of that, and it is. But for me, it's more of what that opens up that we can explore together as a future that has never existed on planet Earth before. Quite literally never existed on planet Earth before. So what do you know? And what do your bodies know? What do our bodies know about the future that is possible to choose and create simply with our energy, our being, and our body together with request that nobody can fathom and this reality cannot stop? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Do you notice when I say it, you get lighter? It's like it feels like somebody is lifting a lead blanket, like 1,000 pounds of concrete off of you. This is the experience of what's true makes you lighter. And let's look at this for a moment. Notice the expansiveness of this conversation. Just and the here it is. And what if those of you who've had a sense that I don't really get a sense of what's light and what's heavy, what's true and what's not? What if it's because you've been looking? What if it's because the conversations that have been had in your presence have not been expansive enough to give you that sense, because it's all been flavors of normal and semi-normal and mostly normal and still normal? What else is possible now that involves us and our bodies in communion as the magic of us, the magic of our bodies, the miracles that the universe and the earth know are possible? And what if we don't have to pretend to be normal anymore? What if we can no longer pretend to be normal, and that wakes up all the people around us that are not normal? And what if your body is an integral part of that, but not in the way that you thought, not in a thinking about being with your body, but with an ease of being with your body, a joy of being with your body, the exuberant expression and abundance of being with your body? And is now the space for that? I must say, yeah. Everything that is times a godzillion, and everything that doesn't allow us and our bodies to perceive, know, be, and receive it and live it, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Oh, yeah. See, that's an interesting part, because that starts to become your perspective. And it just becomes your perspective, because number one, underneath everything else, that's what's true for us. Where else can we go? What else can we have? What else can we choose? And what we've seen around us so dynamically is a world of boring normal in all of its fucking flavors. Dear Lord. Is it any wonder, if you make that real, is it any wonder that that there seems like there's so little magic in the world. Let me let you in on a little secret. You and your body are the magic in the world. So you can relax when you access what's true for you finally. But
Mm-hmm.
what is true for you is so far beyond a reality of understanding, a reality of judgment, a reality of linearity and order. Or if you want to combine those, you can call it linearity, as I just did. That's what's true for you. So, this weird, wonderful journey called access consciousness is exciting because it's one of the few things that acknowledges consistently what is true for you. The beyond this reality awareness and being that you are. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, oh, and body that you are. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive it, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Does your body know that we can create a sustainable, thriving future?
Mm-hmm.
And your body's like, yeah, I got all the energies, all the stuff. Just set me free. Be in communion with me. Use me as your cat's whiskers. See, one of the gifts of our body is it's such a vehicle for awareness. And then we try to shut off the very awareness it's giving us, which is interesting because that's a big part of its job, dumb being, stupid head. and and so what happens is our body will start with a feather touch of awareness, a whisper. And the whole idea of body whispering is to be in this space that's non-cognitive, non-judgmental, where we allow in things that don't make sense, or and where we simultaneously recognize those things that are discordant and a little off, and ask questions about them, but also where we recognize the things that come in that are, yeah, this, and then explore it. You know, if you're the conductor of a beautiful symphony, well, you're also aware of every instrument and its contribution to the whole, making it all greater. And you're also aware if somebody over here is off of their game, you know? Second violin is a little tweaky today. What's happening, you know? And then you go over and you're like following that little thread, not from judgment, but from, hey, you don't seem to be part of the symphony as much as you usually are. What's going on? And so we have all these questions in the book, and we have so many more that we found after that too. But it's about being able to go over to second violin and be like, hey, what's up? Because everybody can have a bad day. What's going on? And our bodies are telling us with that slightly discordant energy, or that thing we can't get off of our minds. A huge amount of the time, it's not going to be ours. Our body's going to be telling us that this is not yours. You're aware of it. A huge amount of the time, our bodies will tell us this is not yours, and you've been aware of it so long that you assumed it was yours, so now you bought it. Pock and pot all that shit, return to sender, and thank you, body, for the information. And then your body's also going to tell you how sick people of this world are. And if you're not willing to have it initially, it may seem really intense because we would much rather believe that we are messed up, we are wrong, we are sick, we are fucked up, we are the ones with the problem. All these other people can't have all these problems and me just be aware of them. Actually, yes, it can be exactly that way. It could be that all these other people have all these problems, and the only reason you have any problem is because you plagiarized those problems, because that's what was required of you to fit in the slot of everybody else's reality. And when you make a choice to go beyond it by reading Body Whispering and going through a book club, you recognize, you start to look from a different place in space, and then your body's able to communicate to you more So if you've been part of the book club and you're wondering, why does my body hurt more? I just did a body whispering book club. My body should feel better. Well, yes. And part of that journey is a journey of a lot more awareness. And we got to something the other day that I think we're going to send out to the whole Access database, even though it was a morning of Symphony of Possibilities class. And that was where our body, one of the implants and explants that has been done, an implant is something done to your physical body in some lifetime. It, in your next lifetime, it becomes an explant because you don't have that same physical body. And explants are things that are done to your energetic bodies or the implants from previous lifetimes. Blah, 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 pock and pot. Anyway, one of the things that I found with all humanoids is that we appear to have been implanted and explanted. That if we chose to be too not normal, if we chose too much consciousness, basically, if we chose to open the doorway to consciousness, whatever that is for each of us, that all of our bodies throughout all time, space, dimensions, and realities would die simultaneously. So, now, for some of you, that sentence went way over your head, like a little satellite circling the Earth that you cannot see except in the tiniest of flashes across the sky at night. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. The implant and explant was that if you ever open the doorway to consciousness for you in whatever way you and your body can, that all of your bodies would die throughout all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Now, let's say that's a fundamental underlying implant that is with you all the time. How much does this in any way explain? And by the way, even if it's weird like this, that's the wonderful thing about Access is those of you who like weird shit is the place for it. But not significant weird shit that actually acknowledges what is, because we go with what's true makes us lighter. A lie is heavier, and if it gets heavy, we shut up, or we should. But weird shit that actually changes stupid shit. Basically, Access is weird shit that changes stupid shit. Okay, there you go. You're welcome. Anyway, everything that brought up, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So it speaks to that weirdness you always hoped could exist. But if all of your bodies have been implanted and explanted to die if you ever open the doorway to consciousness, would that, and what happens if you don't have a body? The idea is you're gone, bye-bye, never to return. But would that explain why you get lighter and then you contract yourself back into heaviness? How much does that particular thing explain why some people have had a lot of intense body stuff going on that will only change a little bit for a little while and then it goes and is intense again? Everything that is, everything we all aligned and agreed with and resisted and reacted to that allows it to exist, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds is now the space for something different. We are the locks, our bodies are the keys. Repeat after me in your head if you want to, your choice, or not, you don't have to. We are the locks, our bodies are the keys. We are the locks, our bodies are the keys. Now is the time to destroy and uncreate all locks and keys and eliminate, eradicate, and kill all of these implants and explants and open all doorways to consciousness now with total ease. Now's the space. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100. Boom is right. Shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay. Anybody notice the alcohol is kicking in? I guess that amazing conversation I think I would. Okay. Now, for some of you who just read the book or part of the book club, the thing I said before about just as a result of that, I can have a conversation like this with you and you won't reject it. How much more has your receiving increased just by going on the journey that this one book presents? If you went on the journey of everything else Access presents, how much more might you be willing to receive? And how much less might you have to try to control things into existence? And what if that's another element of what our bodies are showing us? And if you didn't have underlying everything, every moment, all the time, that you have to control that moment and the choice into the next moment and control what each choice is going to create and open up. Because if you open up too much, all of your bodies are going to be destroyed. Every body you've ever had, every body you ever will, you'll cease to exist, supposedly. By the way, the people that implanted you with that didn't have that much power. Sorry. Oh, oh my God, you mean it's a lie? Yeah. Anyway, it's an implant, explants, implants and explants. But if you didn't have that holding you back continuously, what else could be possible to choose that you could never fathom until today? And that's one of the things I'm so grateful for about Access is what we get to based on everything all of us are choosing, like you guys all choosing to do the book club, have added something to where we can all go because we're living in this field, okay? Quantum physics, by the way, quantum physics is awesome and terrible simultaneously. But the idea of we live in a field and the space of that field is contributed to by each of us and everything, meaning your choice to be on the book club. And this, just like when you're wearing something, surprisingly, we're like, I look so stunning. Everybody loves me in this outfit. Me too. I love me in this outfit, and it just happened. Same thing with the book club for a lot of you. You're like, okay, I'll do the book club. It wasn't like, oh, let me be very significant about book club, no book club, book club, no. Oh my God, I've got to change my plans. I've got to dye my hair. I've got to get my nails done. I'm doing a book club. You know what I mean? There's just something you chose that is opening. This is how all the choices are and and can be when we're choosing from this ease that consciousness is and invites us to. And we keep thinking that it's about the harder work creates the most result. What if it's relax and receive that creates the greatest result? Space, silence, um, it's not empty, it's so full. Mm-hmm. And there's a sense, when I don't have anything else to say, and neither do you. And yeah, I could talk for many more hours. Just wind me up and point me in a direction, I'll go. But there's a sense that here's the interesting part is there's a sense that we not only we did what we came here to do today, quote unquote, but it's not even that. That's way too linear. We came and chose to open doorways that are so big that it will change the choices we have available for future. That's us. Let's turn that up. And let's have fun. The weirdest thing to me, and I still, it's still at the edges of fathomability for me. Okay. The weirdest, most wonderful thing is the body whispering class are some of the ones that open the most miraculous spaces in every other area of our lives. Like a totally different way of being, but that's what our bodies are here for. If we created them in a nanosecond of consciousness, what else do they know? Like, I love your question. What do our bodies know about the future? You know, and I asked, do your bodies know about how to create a sustainable, thriving future? And we're like, oh yeah, I get light, I vibrate. Yeah. Well, guess what else they know? I have no clue until we explore it. That's the other beauty of it is I have no clue what they know. You have no clue what they know, but you know that they know and they know that they know and they want to be heard. And what if, oh, by the way, if you're like me, because I get asked to do stuff on bodies all the time and I get asked to talk about bodies all the time. And forever I was like, no, I'd rather talk about something I'm interested in. And you would think I'm really interested. I wrote a book, right? But I realized that I was avoiding the miraculousness. So if you're somebody who's heard about body whispering, like, no, definitely not. I'll do anything else. Oh, I totally understand. That's the one to do. Okay. And it's funny because the changes that occur, oh my goodness, like, and they all, especially now with whatever doors we've all opened, uh, wow. Like I have this sense. So let's do this for a moment. Get the sense of what the body whispering class, the space that will be available after. Yay. Okay. Now, that's whether you do the class or not, by the way. Okay. The people that come to the class contribute to the field. I used to say space, but that's too much for people. So now I say field and I sound very quantum physics-y. I sound like I know what I'm talking about when I say the word field. I love and hate that word all at the same time. Okay, but so just get the sense of that. Now, will you do me a favor also? Will you ask to contribute your energy to it for all of us? You know, and then if you get the hit to go to the class, probably a good idea, you know, but you always know, and you have choice. So choose what will energetically open the future of possibilities. One of the elements of it, which is interesting to me, is we would talk to people about it, and it would have this energy I can't even begin to describe. But with what we've just done, there's a sense of me being able to talk to you about it and you being able to have, like, look at it and have choice. That's all I desire. Well, from that choice, I hope you have and create miracles. But but it was so apparent to me the prevalence of this reality and how it makes you reject things energetically in a way that you don't even recognize you're doing, which is one of the things that's been going on forever with our bodies, is we've been rejecting them energetically without even realizing it, not even having a clue. And it seems like our bodies are, as we're changing this with our bodies, it seems like it's changing that sort of fundamental thing where we had to reject anything that might create more consciousness than we could control. How much energy have you spent rejecting everything that creates more consciousness than you can control? Everything that is, and everything your body knows, everything I know, everything you know, everything we know, everything the earth knows, everything Uluru knows, everything the universe knows, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyond. If it's going to occur, then if time is not real, then it has occurred and we can receive from it, contribute to it simultaneously, and be. Wow. This is so cool because these things were primarily mental in people's worlds before. And now I'm saying it, and it's like, and by the way, even if you think you're not getting it, you are, because this thing is designed to tell you everything you're not getting, not everything you are. Because what you get that is of consciousness goes so far beyond your mind that it can't fathom it, it can't understand it, it can't control it, it can't put it in a box. So it tries to get you to reject that it's occurring because it's not something that's understandable. But our bodies show us that it is perceivable and receivable and knowable and choosable. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyond. From the old way of functioning, people thought we're all about the money, like we do this for the money. It's way sweeter and way more beautiful and way more phenomenal. And money's awesome. Let's have a lot of that too. By the way, one of the things I've seen change with people hugely with both the being classes, but also body whispering, is people's stuff about money, which is so interesting. Okay, beautiful yous. Uh, please recognize that this way of accessing things is might well, it changes the field, changes the space, adds to it, allows you to receive from it. Please allow that to be at least as valid as the things you think you understand that you allow into your life. And maybe at a certain point, allow yourself to go beyond the need for understanding in order to allow things into your life, because that is where the magic is. And that is what your body functions from, because your mind is not a function of your body. Your mind is a function of this reality to control you and control your body. Your brain is a function of your body, not your mind. Your mind is a dangerous, stupid, useless, linear, tiny piece of shit. Waste it. Time's a godzillion, right? Wrong about all 100. Pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyond.